Hello everybody, Disciple here with Overwatch Curios. Now Overwatch is a game of immense character and professional design that has a ton of personality in just about every aspect of that design. Everything from environments, weapons, heroes, and even nuanced things like projectiles and clothing have all been meticulously detailed to fill the game world with story and visual appeal. Now with a community so large surrounding a game with such detail as Overwatch, you're bound to find some very talented people creating all sorts of awesome imagery, music, videos, and real-life objects that take the unique design of the game and add in a special individual touch that only they can provide. So today, we're going to take a look at some of the amazing top hero designs that the community has come up with, from concept sketches to insanely detailed 3D models. These projects took a ton of time, effort, and creativity to come up with, and all their creators share the same skill and imagination that the dev team uses to create the heroes we all love. So make sure to check them out and give them all love as we go through it. But anyway, here's our top 5 most excellent fan-made heroes. Simon Ashbury is first on the list, bringing us a very unique Omnic hero named Canvas. This aging and disturbed art Omnic abandoned his creative programming and turned to a life of combat. He fires a special mixed paint from small cannons on each one of his arms that has various properties and effects to those that walk across it, sort of like Splatoon. For allies, it increases their movement speed by 30%, while it damages foes and reduces their movement speed by 20%. Canvas covers the landscape with this paint in various ways. His primary fire produces a short stream of the compound, much like May's endothermic blaster fires out streams of freezing liquid. He can use his alternate fire mode to charge and lob a paint grenade that damages enemies on impact and splatters paint in a larger area. Now if you think about Zarya's grenade alternate fire, but with paint, you probably wouldn't be too far off. His shift is a mobility option that fires both of his barrels at the ground, giving Canvas a way to jump much higher than normal while leaving a little bit more paint in a trail behind him. Now his ultimate ability, Masterpiece, has Canvas spinning around, launching loads of concentrated paint in a large area, coating any ally or nearby enemy. Once coated, the carrier then spreads the paint to other allies and enemies whenever they go for a set amount of time, carrying the helpful or harmful properties with them. It's a very colorful and interesting way to support your allies and debuff your enemies, and it would probably put him in the support category alongside Symmetra as a non-healing support hero. Canvas's design definitely resembles other Omnics we've seen in Overwatch, although he seems to be taller and more skeletal in figure than more filled-in Omnics like Zenyatta. He's got dual paint-filled containers on his back that are attached to a floral patterned chest piece. You can also see this pattern on small parts of body armor-like pieces attached to his frame. Canvas has a bit of a sinister look to him overall, and he seems to march forward when he walks, and his skull-like headpiece is intimidating and pronounced as well. His idle stance shows off confidence and dominance, while he's also covered in splotches of the paint that he uses in combat, which to an Omnic might as well be blood. It really sounds kinda crazy and over the top, but it is Overwatch and there are things that are a little bit ridiculous. Canvas does seem to fit right in with the giant armor wearing hammer users, snipers that can heal by shooting their allies, and mutant men from Australia. Next up, we have a hero and her companion that would bring an interesting twist to the fights that happen in the world of Overwatch. Carlos Ruiz brings us Lyra and Dervin, a big game hunter and her Techno Owl companion. When I say big game, I mean it. She was specifically designed to take out larger, tankier targets like Reinhardt and Roadhog, instead of focusing on smaller enemies. She carries around a powerful, large bolt action rifle, and her primary fire is a slow but precise projectile from a small magazine. These bullets are designed to penetrate heavy armor and shields, and considering how slow it is to fire, she'd probably end up in the defense category instead of assault. Although it's pretty easy to see how she could aid in a push on an attacking team. She also makes use of 2 types of capsules that are fired from an alternative barrel on the rifle. The first is an incendiary capsule that creates a small fire on impact, damaging over time, and the second is a sedative capsule that puts enemies to sleep for a moment after a few seconds of contact, which do seem a little bit similar to potentially Ana or Widowmaker's kits, but definitely is different enough that it could be its own ability. Now her companion, Durfin, flies around the map passively from the player's control and marks a random enemy using the visual set that's attached to the owl's headpiece. Only Lyra can see the target, and it gives advanced warnings similar to Widowmaker's Infrasight. Lyra's ultimate gives players control of Durfin and allows them to drop up to 3 small explosives on the ground before a timer runs out or before Durfin's shields give way to enemy fire. It's very similar to the way players can control Junkrat's Riptire, only in the air and probably a little bit slower. Lyra and Durfin are both designed in a way that resembles fantasy-like woodland hunters, but technologically augmented. Several dark and earth tone colors shade the matching high-tech armor that they use, and both use a special eyepiece on their headgear that connects one another through sight. Lyra's rifle is a sleek, straightforward weapon that looks like it could deliver a large, devastating round, while 2 modular capsules adorn the top side of the weapon used for the double capsule system mentioned before. She does have a darker complexion and dark brown hair, but the artist didn't mention what part of the world she comes from. We can assume it's from somewhere that has thick forested land and plenty of game for hunting. Now currently the only hero in the game that's really labeled as a tank killer is Reaper. Another darkness-laden hero with a powerful weapon aimed at dishing up tons of damage to high health and armored targets could be a very cool addition to the roster. Next up we have the hero Tech by Gianluca Squillace, a name I'm sure I pronounced right. Tech is an assault hero that uses advanced weaponry and gadgets to fight on the battlefield. Her primary weapon, Sparks, fires rounds that attach themselves to a target, which Tech can then detonate remotely for explosive damage. For elusive or fleeing enemies, she has access to a tracking device that she plants on enemies at a distance, which can track through walls and obstacles. Her drone can be tossed up in the air and can intercept enemy projectiles much like D.Va's defense matrix. That's great for taking care of incoming fire and projectile-based ultimates. Tech's ultimate ability, Human Revenge, acts much like Zenyatta's ultimate, making the team pretty much invulnerable and healing them while under a protective shield. Tech could fit really nicely into the offensive hero category alongside Reaper and Tracer, but she might also have a spot on the defensive set of heroes like Junkrat and Mei. Her overall design feels very much like a scout or a flanking hero with light clothing and gear for a much smaller presence. Her double-barreled weapon, coupled with the shotgun-like shells on her hip, suggests that the weapon must be reloaded pretty often, but probably packs quite a punch as well. You'll notice that her left leg is completely mechanical, and it could be like Junkrat, someone who blew their leg off, but it also could be some sort of technical augmentation to just improve the body above what's natural. Her build also includes some handy tools like a wrench and a pouch that can presumably fix the weapon, drone, and gadgets, and the suit that she wears under the jacket and pants seems high-tech, kind of like Mercy's outfit. With her low magazine but powerful weapon, scouting, and defensive abilities, she'd probably make a great replacement for someone like Sombra or Reaper on a team, as long as her shells could take down tanks relatively quickly. Now, Julian Del Rey brings us a very intricately designed and story-driven hero in concept art fashion. Jade is the commander of Viper Squad and looks like a headstrong warrior type with full body armor, a tech-heavy sword, and a small blaster. Her primary weapon, the Viper Bite, is a dual-purpose pistol that fires a medium-range plasma shot or can be charged up to release a plasma wave similar in concept to Reinhardt's Fire Strike or Symmetra's Right Click. Her first ability has Jade holstering her weapon in favor of charging up her photon sword with electromagnetic energy and then rapidly dashing at enemies and causing damage. To supplement her offensive kit is her Ultra Shield. Jade's suit emits a personal barrier that deflects projectiles instead of absorbing them, and heals her for a small amount as well, sort of like crossing Zarya's personal shield with Genji's Deflect. She also has a slight mobility boost with her suit's ability to enhance her jump, allowing her to reach places normal heroes may not be able to. Her ultimate, Earthwave Shock, has Jade leaping into the air and then bringing down her photon sword in a huge shockwave of electromagnetic discharge, inflicting heavy damage to enemies in a small radius. You may see familiar designs in her armor, which is fitting, yet sturdy, and has a pointed chest piece and large shoulder pieces and leg gear. Julian went the extra creative mile with this one and included a short comic with Jade that brings her into the lore of Overwatch as far as Long Lost Sister. Now, if you look closely at a comparison between Pharah's Raptora suit and Jade's Viper armor, you can start to see the similarities. Her color scheme also resembles a snake with greens and yellows, warning of danger and deadly intent, And if you look at her midsection, you can see a belt with a hip holster and a leg strap that seems to house several vials with a medical symbol, perhaps giving her the ability to heal or being the source of the shield perhaps. Judging by the obvious visual cues and her attack abilities, it's safe to say that Jade would be a hard-hitting frontline offensive hero that could combine these ranged attacks with up-close and personal melee blows similar to Genji. Now, in what has to be one of the best fan-made hero designs to date, Zameen takes the top slot on our list. A super high-quality creative effort by Mario Manzanares, who conceptualized the hero, and Tim Morios, who turned the concept into a working 3D model, Zameen is a hero of cultural and technological design and has a ton of personality in his appearance. The design resembles the style and feel of official Overwatch heroes, so much that if you didn't know any better, you'd think he was legitimately coming into the game. Zameen has a dual-purpose weapon called the Shisha Cannon. Its primary fire comes from the smaller piece of the gun and fires longer range poison shots that deal direct damage to a target, while his alternate fire uses the larger end of the weapon to fire a short-range cloud of poison gas that deals damage over time. Using Vishkar Corporation technology, Zameen can summon hard-light snakes that seek out enemies and do damage and stun for a short duration. And finally, his ultimate ability, Shisha Bomb, plants his weapon firmly on the ground and emits a large puff of venomous smoke that deals damage in a wide area. Zameen's visual design screams personality and detail. His outfit consists of tech cloth combinations with an elaborate headpiece, and couple this with his dark complexion and hard light snakes from Vishkar, it's safe to assume that he hails from somewhere in India or the Middle East. Given his weapon and style of play, he'd probably be labeled as a defensive hero, which makes sense as another hero with similar ranged weaponry is already in that category, namely Mei with her dual-purpose endothermic blaster. This was just such a well-designed hero that we could definitely see fitting onto the Overwatch roster. Anyway, all these fan-made heroes are incredibly creative and were inspired by their creators' love for Overwatch's already over-the-top personality and quality of design. There are tons of designs out there from fans, and I want to know what your favorites are down in the comments or on our Discord server. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys liked it, I'd love it if you could subscribe to the channel. Anyway, that's it for today, but I'll see you guys next time. Peace.